Yeah, so welcome to our annual Plague Sins Unchained tournament. Hopefully annual in the future. That's the first one, so we'll see. Um, Joining me as a co-commentator today, Roger Freely. Big shout out to my boy. I'm
Still typing out the announcement. Give me a moment. Cheers.
Yeah, sure. Take your time. Um, oh my god, my blue sax is not reacting. What the hell? What the hell is happening? Okay, there we go. Um, Okay, here we go. We have a
All right.
nice fighting place. You know, fights, but please stay quiet. It's the library. Good luck. Okay, guys. So here you go. No paradigms, so they are free to choose whatever they are. Uh, Willing to fight with, and we're jumping into the first fight of our finals, which is the qualification for the quarterfinals. Whoever wins this best of three goes into the quarterfinals and fights against Ormagoden. Roger, what do you think? Any favorites for this fight for you?
It's difficult. I have to say, I did not see much of both of those specific contestants. I do know that Cruor take the preparation very seriously, so I think I'm leaning slightly towards Cruor, but he was very close to elimination several times already. So he had to fight very hard to stay in the tournament.
Yeah, I have to admit I haven't done my homework here. I am not sure if those two contestants already fought against each other. But both are ready to fight right now, so we're jumping into the draft and let's see who gains the first pick here.
You
Eternal.
got a very good look at Kroos' draft in the last round, so what are you expecting?
Yeah, from the front row, you might add. Yeah, uh, he handed my ass to me. I have to say it was a 1-2, but still, I had the feeling that his draft was way more solid than mine.
So here we already see a carrot diff. This is a first pick that's not carrot, so that's already a bad sign. Because usually from what I see, there's two options. You go with first pick, you either pick carrot or you pick crow, or maybe fallen. Like banning fallen and first picking crow is very common because then you deny the two aureus and you have a good answer if the other person picks carrot. RB first signals a very aggressive draft from Eternal.
Yeah, speaking of aggressive drafts, so there seem to be two different philosophies when it comes to drafting. Either you go very offensive and play the aggressor, or you go defensive and stall. From your own experience, Roger, what do you think is the more successful approach in the current meta?
I think in general, it depends on the roster you have available. If you have all the units, I think going defensive is the safer approach because the aggressive drafts are have too many counters. Like almost all of the units are like pretty easily countered, I would say. Um, Usually, I think the best way to play, but the hardest way to draft, is to open up with a very solid first pick, and then build like a solid team, 1, 2, 3, and then react to whatever the match is and keeping your options open. If you commit too hard into a stall, you can also just get a little bit abused if the opponent sees it coming.
Mm.
Like here we see the carrot is coming out very early with an attack buff behind it and the Arbiter. But now, yeah, a second attack buff coming from the end. But we already have a Tywin who is able to dispel some of the burns, and Cruor, who is a very premium pick into carrot just because of his ability to one-shot either the carrot or usually the supportive units behind her. Spectre Tenebria coming out too makes sense because there's not much AoE yet. A Tywin controlling is difficult because a Tywin really can never control a carrot because she will always cleanse the stun. So the most you can land is like you would have to like lap her and then proc the provoke, cleanse, and then stun her. So it's a difficult situation. I like the Fairy Tale last pick because that is almost a force ban, I feel. But I also feel you're kind of committed to banning the Spectre because your AoE is just not there. Wow, he thinks he can reach the Spectre. I am surprised by that. A lot of faith in the Ravi, I would say.
There's not much damage mitigation on Eternal's side. I'm very curious to see how he wants to mitigate the incoming hurt from Cruor's draft. Even though it's milder on the AoE damage, as you said, but it's a lot with both Ravi and Tene.
Wow, it's a full swath of debuffs on the enemy team. That is huge.
Also, no chance to react for Diane. The stun definitely gives a lot of leverage for Cruor.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage on the Spectre. I think this is that Spectre is a lot squishier than we usually see, I think. Or it's just a crazy damage, a Tywin.
Those souls on Eternal's side are not gonna get burned soon.
Yeah. Yeah, Tywin will have to wait for a bit. He did not soul burn it, right? No, he can't have. It's an Abyssal Crown on the Spectre and the Fairy Tale. The end. She can cleanse a few of the debuffs here, but she won't reach all the important ones. Also, the stuns still remain.
No Rod of Amaryllis, if I saw that correctly. So the healing power of Diane is really cut.
Yes. Yeah, the sustain is going to be an issue. Now, I have changed to a Lifesteal Spectre Tenebria along with many other players. I do not think Eternal has done the same. But yeah, if he can't find healing, it's basically a countdown to the Ravi S3, at which point the carries will most likely die. Now, the DN will get the anti-crit up, but I honestly think the Spectre is so low that even without...
That was almost death.
Barely! Who says poison is a bad debuff in PvP? Yeah, this is... It's not Unfading Memories either. It must be something unrelated to healing. Alright, it is a high damage Spectre. Makes sense. With 8k HP, this is all damage. But this needs to kill the Ravi, essentially. Oh wait, he's not going for the Ravi. Wait, am I missing something? Oh, the carrot? But the carrot is provoked. Maybe the Ravi doesn't have her S3 yet? Yeah, she might be below the threshold for S3, I suppose. The problem is if you're going for a Tywin, they often are on Holy Sacrifice. So you kind of have to get through them twice. Is that gonna cleanse? He's cleansing. That counterattack. And the cleanse with it.
Yeah, I feel a little bit bad. Eternal already announced that he wasn't able to re-gear his units in time, so maybe his Diane was on a heavy build with Vial or something like that. I didn't see it proc though.
Yeah, could be. I did not see anything proc, I have to admit. I'm not sure. Maybe I missed it.
Yeah, I definitely missed it.
Yeah.
Quick fight. Okay,
It's
let's
interesting.
decide.
What did Cruor ban from Eternal's side?
What
Do you
was
remember?
it?
I think he banned the Arbiter. Yeah, he banned the Arbiter.
No.
Mm.
Yeah. You mean post ban?
Yeah, post-ban.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to adjust. The thing is, he drafted very aggressively, but he didn't really get too close to winning. So maybe banning Carrot and first picking Landy, that's already setting the sign. There are more counters to Landy for sure.
Eternal
Avi is still a very
respecting.
solid option.
Yeah, definitely respecting Cruor's Ravi and denying the pick from Cruor. We all know that Cruor is a very passionate Ravi user
Yes,
in all kinds of
for sure.
PvP.
He is in a bit of trouble already though now, Eternal. Unless he has like a pocket Aureus. Usually for most people, if you want to draft a more defensive style around your Spectre or your Ravi, you're kind of relying on one of the two main Aureus holders, which are Crow and Fallen Cecilia. So if you ban Fallen, you not only open up the Fairy Tale Tenebria for your opponent, you're also if the Crow gets picked away from you, you're missing that important mitigation. He might have an Aureus and Adventurer Ras, which is a very common third option, along with Troublemaker Crosshead. But it's gonna be tough to play. I mean, his Spectre is also not built for the Protect the Queen classic composition with 8k HP. It's just too vulnerable to AoE. So I guess it's more of an aggressive draft, and we're using the Adventure Ras as more of a supportive DPS with his S2, which makes sense.
Yeah, if it really is Protect the Queen, then I'm very curious to see what this last pick will be for Eternal, because if it's not a protective unit, then banning Ras would be a really good answer from Crowd. Just get rid of all the damage mitigation that basically just him.
This is a pretty risky draft from Cruor because he only has one real DPS. Eternal could have picked like a Rel at the end here, or a very powerful healer like a Doris, and banned the Landy. And then Cruor does really not have much damage to burn through the mitigation and the sustain of a strong Soul Weaver. And if he bans it, then he leaves up a whole bunch of damage. But the Landy does get banned, so it's gonna be knights and warriors dealing the damage this time. Cerise very common against cheap purchase. Let's see how many resists she lands. Oh, the A Tywin cleansed most of them immediately. That's an issue.
What happened here?
Oh, I'm confused. We don't have any rules, right?
No,
Yeah, there's no paradigm. There's no paradigm that they could have broken. Maybe did his game crash, or did he just feel? I didn't feel he was so severely outdrafted that it was unplayable, to be honest.
Let's see if we have any messages in Discord. So far, I don't see him writing in Discord too. We must assume that it's a disconnect at this point. Either that or he fainted due to stress. Who knows? It's a very stressful situation.
Sorry for anticlimactic surrender, but I cannot win versus that resist. So this is what we in the game call a full tilter. That's a tilter concede. That's a top right tilter. I guess.
Did you write in muted mic chat though?
Yeah, he did. That's okay. What I read out.
Oh, well, that feels bad. That feels bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not resist. Like it's not killed, but when I saw in first game that all his units have really high resistance, so like.
No, I think the A Tywin cleansed the debuffs with his passive.
Yeah. That was the 8 high win pass.
They did not resist. The 8 high win cleansed them.
Maybe, but after that I cannot win. Like, my only hope is to land restrict on Fat Cat and then try to do something. If it doesn't land, then I'm fucked.
Yeah, still feels bad. We need something to watch, Eternal. Give us something to watch, dude.
I thought you disconnected or
sorry,
something.
but I'm really outmatched here.
It's okay. It's well within your right to surrender. No problem.
Okie dokie. So we have our first conclusion of the qualification fights for the quarterfinals. Cruor, well played. You definitely deserve to move on to the quarterfinals and face no other than Ormagoden, the winner of the last tournament. And the tournament before that. Let's see, maybe you can hinder him from getting the triple.
A bit of a banger, but also huge congratulations to Eternal for making it that far. Very big props, well played. Unlucky that it was such an anticlimactic ending, but still, GG.
Well,